Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm asking the question, what should we do about Edward Snowden? And I think this is actually a really interesting question that I've never really dove into, but I recently had an interesting conversation regarding Edward Snowden. And if you recall, about 5 years ago or so, around 2014, he stole a whole bunch of classified files from the NSA, that is the intelligence branch of the United States, and then he turned that over to a whole bunch of journalists, fled the country, and currently resides in Russia. And that is basically where it's at. The United States government actively wants to arrest him and bring him back to the United States. And the Russians don't really have an extradition treaty with the United States. So here we are. Snowden is still there. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we just had another case go through the court and get adjudicated here in the United States, and that is Harold Martin III. He is 54 years old, and he was just sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for the, and I quote, willful retention of national defense information. And basically he pled guilty to this, apologizing for what he did. Now, he had been stealing documents from the 90s all the way up until about 2016 or so, when he was arrested, which was August of 2016. And here's the thing. The difference between him and Snowden is the fact that while they both took documents, Martin was not releasing this. He kind of had like a hoarder mentality and was accumulating all of these documents because he wanted to basically study them at home. Unfortunately, these are secret and top secret documents that were not allowed to leave the infrastructure, that he was with. Now, he also worked for Booz Allen Hamilton as an NSA contractor in the same way that Snowden did, but Snowden took it one step further, actually stole the information, flew overseas to Hong Kong, and then released it to journalists, basically trusting U.S. journalists to go through this information, and put it out there. And they did indeed put that out there. And we had some hits or misses. So, for example, the New York Times forgot to redact one part of a section, or didn't properly redact something, and it actually gave away that we were going after Al-Qaeda in Iraq, if I recall correctly. And so there have been some mistakes, but overall, Snowden's intent, at least according to Snowden, was that he wanted to basically be a whistleblower, shed light on the massive amount of surveillance that the NSA was doing to the U.S. citizens. And so the question is, what exactly do we do with him? And the reason why we're bringing this up is because I literally, when I'm talking with people, I see people on all sides of the spectrum. I see some people that think he should be basically shot for treason, and on the other side, they want to throw him a parade for what he did. But it's interesting because I think it's in some ways a little more nuanced than that, in the sense that we have in the United States whistleblower protections, and there's a certain process I think that whistleblowers go through, and they get protection for this. President Obama spoke very highly, not of Snowden, but of the whistleblower protections and why we need this. And we've seen in other industries whistleblowers come out, like in tobacco, for example, where they get protection. But at the same token, Edward Snowden, while he is a whistleblower in this sense, also violated U.S. law. He also violated security and privacy for the U.S. intelligence apparatus, and that's a very serious issue. It's not an allegation. I mean, he fully admits it. He put it out there and all of that. He is essentially guilty of this by his own admission and by his actions and by everything that has been published by virtue of it. At the same token, we would not know about programs like PRISM, where social media and other large internet companies are basically allowing the intelligence agencies in the United States to go in, and harvest and data mine and do all of these things in an effort to fight terrorism or other things that obviously, catches, let's say, innocent Americans up in data mining, even if they have nothing to do with this. So it's very interesting, and I'm wondering what you guys think we should do. I think there's going to be some people that say, oh, we should absolutely string him up. Other people say we should throw him a parade and give him a medal. And I think there's going to be a whole bunch of us that are in between, because quite frankly, part of me wants to hug him and part of me wants to punch him, in this sense. And I think that's where a lot of people stand. But I'd be curious to know what you think about this as well, and hopefully I'm going to have a really interesting interview regarding this coming up for my radio show, and ideally for my YouTube channel as well, with somebody that's pretty connected to this. So stick around for that, but that is hopefully in the works, and I'm hoping that comes out, and that's kind of prompting a little bit of what I'm talking about here. So stick around, please tell me what you think. And that is your more news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.